I mean, no disrespect. So y'all think Kobe dead? Yes or no?
Kobe?
Yeah, nobody seen him get on the plane. Did he disappear? Did he go to another island?
I think so. I think he got wiped out because what a lot of people don't know, I'll say allegedly, but he was in a legal battle with a pharmaceutical company.
I ain't heard about that.
That's documented.
Right.
Yeah, but they were trying to fight over, I believe it was the Black Mamba name.
The products that was put into it, he wanted to be associated.
Right. So here's another thing though, what a lot of people don't know. He was in talks with Saudi Arabia
He was on the NBA team.
to do his own NBA team.
Yeah, Kobe was pretty much anti-NBA post career broadcast and so on and so forth. But it seemed like Kobe was just like done.
Imagine how dangerous that would have been. I mean, like threatening to the NBA that would have been. If you think about it, like Kobe starting, that's like Jordan starting his own league. Like it's over. It's literally over. That's literally one of the greatest players ever. Like it's game over.
And everybody's gonna follow him, right?
For
so
sure.
he probably would have gave better deals. He probably would have gave more exposure, more control of your IP. So again, if that happened, what does that mean for the NBA? So it's really odd on how all that went down, only because how low they were flying. Okay,
So you saying the crash shouldn't have happened? It shouldn't have happened.
It definitely shouldn't have happened. I was on the scene actually when that happened. I was on the news. I was one of the first people there when Kobe, when it
You think
happened.
people could have survived? So you think something got blew up or something like that?
they should
It was
have been
intentional.
Yeah, it was something to the intentional. I don't know. To
My
what-
belief, allegedly, I'll say that.
Hey, with Kobe, love you, man. Rest in peace. It's just one of those weird conspiracies, especially when the programming is already there and you've seen all of that. It's like,
Yeah.
was this written? I mean, I do say this. I say we're alive by politics.
I mean, why is it that right before he died, on his last game, they gave out Kobe helicopter toys?
It wasn't the one that looked like LeBron? The one kind of like looked like LeBron, though?
It looked like Kobe with a helicopter propeller attached to him.
They gave it on one of his last
They
games.
gave it to everybody at the game.
So what was the point of that?
Exactly.
Make a distinction between what we're saying here and a different kind of notion of simulation that Nick Bostrom has. So there's a simulation theory of Nick Bostrom and others where they say, look, this isn't real. It could be just some computer geek that did a program, and we're just creatures in the simulated world in this program. And it turns out that computer geek herself is just a program from someone else at a lower level. And there's this whole hierarchy all the way down until you get to some base programmer. But they assume that the base level is a space-time world. So they're still stuck on the headset. That kind of simulation theory isn't thinking big enough. You have to let and they're also assuming that programs can create consciousness, which is another story. No one's been able to show how that's even possible. So they're just not thinking big enough. I should make a distinction.
White people, we are an incestuous race. We have incest in our bloodline. Let me break it down for you. In America, back in the day, especially in the South, we white people used to marry our own cousins in order to keep plantation money within the family. But we can take it before that. We could look at Europe. In UK, we had a disease called the royal disease, which was hemophilia. Because of the way recessive alleles work, there was so much incest in the royal family that they were more prone to getting the royal disease. But we could go back to our inception. One of the biggest lies we like to tell people is that we white people created society in Greece. Well, in Greece, there's a tale called the Oedipus tale. And that is where Freud came up with the Oedipus complex, in which the white male wants to kill his father in order to marry and have sex with his mother. That is incest. We have incest all the way back to our inception. Do you know who doesn't have these tales? Black people. So get Isaiah's big assignment and teach your kids some history they can be proud of. And if you have mixed kids,
the Rothschild and Rockefeller elites do not want you to know about this supplement. Now this is called NAC, and NAC can actually boost the most powerful antioxidant known as glutathione in your body. And glutathione is very powerful because it supports detoxification. And we know that industrial toxins are actually everywhere, which are not beneficial for the body at all, and you need to be able to detoxify them. That is where NAC comes in, alongside something called TUDCA, because these both help to support your liver to detoxify. And a lot of people's livers are overwhelmed by all of the toxins in the environment. So if you're looking for NAC, I'll leave a link below.
Freemasons wear this apron because it originates from stonemasons. Stonemasons wore these aprons to protect themselves from any flying chips when carving stone. But in Freemasonry, this is allegorical. The stone that you are carving in Freemasonry is yourself. You are perfecting the stone. You are perfecting your mind and heart your brain and heart, because the stonework is taking place on the individual's consciousness to gain self-mastery and a higher consciousness. Apron is worn over the genital areas, which represents the centers and the energies that are associated with the lower self, such as eating, sexual pleasure, and power. Apron is a reminder to gain control over the lower self, hence why there is an eye placed on the apron sometimes. The eye is a symbol of being conscious, being aware. This is a Masonic reminder of the Masonic work, perfecting the self and gaining control over the lower desires and impulses, so they can climb the ladder towards higher consciousness and higher understanding of the self. Book of Symbolism is now available on revivalofwisdom.com or the link in my bio. Thank you everyone for your support.
Let's get to the birds that are charging up on these lines, these government birds, these drones. All right, so you got to understand that BIRD is really a real acronym, right? Biomechanical Intelligence Recording Daily Surveillance. So let's repeat that together. What does BIRD stand for, class? Biomechanic Intelligence Recording Daily Surveillance. I mean, I had to think of an acronym to match with what the fuck they really are. And it just fitted perfectly, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to the acronym. We're going to keep that. Because that's exactly what they are. But not every species. So we already talked about the species that wasn't. We mentioned some of the species as just filler species. They mean that they're not recording you. They just flying around and moving around. But I'm finna name off the 13 bird species that are actually recording your ass. Okay? The brown thrasher, pigeons. You got pigeons in cities. Crows, blue jays, ringneck parakeet, goldfinch, the sparrow, swallows, owls, chickens, turkeys, and ravens. Okay? So any bird I didn't mention is not a government bird. It's not recording you.
Let me see if I got this straight. Are you trying to tell me that the Free-Eye Atlas is still not here yet? Oh, you son of a ballback. Now, I don't celebrate Christmas, but I might do something for New Year. But anyhow, this alien comes on Christmas? What color are these aliens? Anyhow, they're black. Now, I've heard of black people timing, but this is what I call black. Now they're saying the Atlas is coming with a squad. I don't care who you bring. Stop your comment and come. This is crazy. This is crazy. Anybody that believed in the Free-Eye Atlas, what are you gonna do when they come with the blue beam? So let me see if I got this straight. You're trying to tell me that a rock that could be alive with aliens that could invade us by Christmas is gonna come through the firmament and come and kill me? Oh, you son of a bitch.
Go ahead. Look at it. This is you. No skin, no muscle, no face. Just the control network that runs your entire life. It looks somewhere in between an alien and an angel. We're basically a bioelectric entity wearing a flesh suit. You are a consciousness plotting a neural web plugged in to a skin suit. Your brain and spinal cord are your command centers, and every fiber extending out is like a circuit feeding into sensors that we call the body. So what are we really? Are we truly human? When you strip away the skin, you don't even see a person anymore. And then you can really start to think, like, maybe we didn't come from this world. Maybe we're having an experience through a temporary suit, hoping to one day unplug.
As I started to go back into the 1800s, I noticed that fireplaces would have the word radium engraved on them. And so I then realised that these fireplaces weren't using fire and wood, they were using radium to heat people's homes. And there was actually a picture of Thomas Edison sat in front of a radium fireplace, sat there with his feet in front of radium. And so I then questioned, if radium is as toxic as we are told, why would somebody have it in their home and of all places their fireplace? And it's because in the 1800s they found out radium could heat your home for up to 1,000 years. But I then noticed they would drink from radium glassware because they found out the radium would supercharge their cells like no other and enhance their frequency. And what's interesting is everybody in the 1800s, especially the wealthy, would bathe in radium springs. Specifically, the Rockefellers and Rothschilds were known to go to radium springs and bathe there. And so I then questioned, if radium is so toxic, why would you bathe in radium? And so it then all started to add up why they removed the radium fireplaces and all of the radium glassware. And what was once everywhere throughout the 1800s suddenly disappeared because they found something out about radium they don't want you to know about.
Gruesome Newsom is back at it again, and you guys won't believe what he said this time.
Paying the bills, man. And it was just like hustling. And so I was out there kind of raising myself, turning on the TV, started, just
Hustling. Taking care of yourself. I highly doubt that because your dad, William Newsom, was a very prominent judge and lawyer in California, who was also an administrator to the Getty Family Trust, in which is the largest art institution on earth worth over $7 billion. Yeah, hard life. Isn't it funny that every time these politicians talk to black people, they turn up the flavor and be like, yeah, I had to struggle, we eat pickle sandwiches. Like, did he take the Kamala Harris course or something? Now, he said in a recent interview that he is thinking about running for president in 2028, but let's take a look at his track record so far. In California right now, #1 in homelessness, #1 in poverty, #1 in addiction, #1 in high gas prices, #1 in income tax, #1 in gas tax, #1 in retail theft, and so on and so forth. Question, how does one spend $24 billion combating homelessness and you're still #1 in homelessness? Fraud. Fraud is how you do that, because Project Homekey, an initiative signed off by Gavin Newsom to fight homelessness, has just defrauded taxpayers. And this is due to terrible oversight, letting fraudsters like this, Cody Holmes, take $26 million out the project for his lavish lifestyle. And get this, some of the spending included over $2 million for an Amex bill, $53,000 for VIP tickets for Coachella, $43,000 for a private jet, and nobody caught this at all. And it gets even better. Or worse, because Newsom has also signed Assembly Bill 495, aka the Kidnapping Bill, in which allows strangers to sign an affidavit for kids whose parents are incapacitated temporarily and gain complete guardianship over them. And this is tied to a number of other bills, including this one, AB 1955, in which a student can change their gender at school without notifying their parents. Yeah, bang up job you're doing over there in California. Make sure you guys go to my YouTube, The Maverick Approach, for more info, but let me know what you guys think about all this down below.
Jesus is telling you how to escape hell through symbolism. But Christians will say this is evil because they're indoctrinated by the church, who do send you to hell. Okay? Take a look at the symbolism here. This is why they don't want you to learn symbolism, the language that is never taught to anyone. Jesus is showing you the mind and the heart, but take a look at the gesture. It's not separate, it's unified. So it's unifying the mind with the heart, the thought with love, because when you think with the love of the heart, it gives birth to perfect actions. And if everyone did this, the world would then be heaven on earth. We would live in a balanced, peaceful, loving society and world. So what the elites do is to disconnect you from your heart by programming you with division, racism, and all this destructive, chaotic things. They do not want you connecting to your heart, because that's how you create unification within yourself and society and the world.
So this is the same Jake Paul that took down the pound for pound heavyweight champion of the world, Mike Tyson. This is the same Jake Paul who is sticking his tongue out to people and doing the all mocking tongue. You guys already know he told you guys that he was going to get knocked out on the 6th round, right?
Finally, what is your prediction, Jake? Probably the 6th or 7th round knockout. And that's it.
I'm fucking them up, burial! I'm fucking them up!
So that right there should already told you who Jake Paul already works for, because he got knocked out on the 6th round, right? And Joshua Anthony is 6'6". So you got 6'6". And then I also noticed Jake Paul doing this in a lot of his photos, like he's telling you to be quiet, like shh, like he's holding a secret or something. Even in this one over here, like is there some kind of secret going on here? And then the fight being on December 19th when 3-Eye Atlas is supposed to be as close to the planet as ever. And then Jake Paul being 6'1", 6'1" is 19 flipped. Cause if you take a look at this fight, like he wasn't really throwing no hands, y'all, but he signals to him that he's ready for the fight to be over. But yeah, y'all, like he wasn't doing no damage. There wasn't nothing really going on. He was on the ropes the whole time. What was that? What kind of punch was that? You seen that? Look at that. What is this? He's like hitting him like he's on the playground. Oh, come on, man. But nonetheless, y'all, Jake Paul told y'all this a long time ago.
And like, I probably shouldn't be saying this, but all of this shit's fucking rigged. You know, you see people whining and dining each other. You see people at Staples Center. Like, who was at the Staples Center last night with KSI? Joe Markowski from the Zone. You know, people. This sport's rigged for sure. Probably the 6th or 7th round knockout, and that's it.
And that's it, yeah, because it's all fake. All I'm saying is you need to watch these two very closely now, because some big things about to happen. But yeah, y'all, 666 all in the mix. All the numbers are there. This is all a distraction for what's really happening. But do y'all feel that energy? That junk is crazy. Let me know down in the comments below, y'all. The shift is here. Let's get it. Peace in.
The CIA had a program called Project Pegasus.
Did this have anything to do with QTEL? Basically, they fund all the technology for CIA.
DARPA.
Yeah.
Basically, think of it like this. DARPA is an arm of the government that is the sword and the shield. So they create military weapons, defense systems, also a lot of offensive systems and whatnot. In Marvel, they have something called SHIELD. It's like CIA with DARPA mixed in, and the NSA as well. They have no governance. They work outside of presidents and Congress. They pretty much approve anything they want. They have something called the black budget, where they have unlimited funding to where they can pretty much, hey, we want to fund this. We don't have to listen to Congress. We don't have to listen to the president.
That's who the government really is.
Yeah,
Not his puppet show.
Tesla. They had all his works, and when he died, probably killed him.
Definitely.
Took all his works, and his family wanted all his works and say, hey, you know, we own all that work for, you know, next of kin.
Mm-hmm.
He had 80 boxes. They give 60 boxes back. So where are those other 20 boxes? In those works, they found something to where he basically discovered time travel and teleportation. They're all one and the same, because if you can teleport, in theory, you can go from different times in space and time. They found out that the younger you are, the more flexible your mind is.
Gate program.
Exactly. This is why they had the gate program in school.
Wow. That's why there's an attack on the family, right? Because if you have the broken family, there's no solid ground, right? No deciphering.
They were sending kids back in time. The one kid, this is all documented, he goes to the Gettysburg Address to see Lincoln speak. He noticed a flash when he was there. Somebody took his picture. Now, a historian goes to the archives, back to the Gettysburg Address, and looks for this same kid, and he is there at the Gettysburg Address because he has a 70s haircut.
No way.
Yes.
So crazy.
Oversized boots. He was alone in the picture. They were like, who is this kid with a 70s haircut? Turns out it was him. And then not only that, they sent kids back in time to the same place multiple times, and they were running into themselves. So they were told by the CIA, hey, don't touch yourself because it'll cause a paradox.
Little Back to the Future. It's always in the movies.
It's always
Remember those videos or those pictures that came out? The dude with the iPhone. Was it a video?
Was there?
I've seen a lady with a phone.
With the
I
phone.
saw that one.
Yeah. So it was a lady, but also that picture, he looked like a Gen Z guy.
Yeah, he did.
So if time travel ever existed, it's always existed. Because people are like, oh, time travel can't be possible. Well, maybe one day it will be. Well, if that's the case, it already does exist.
Each World Fair had its own music hall. This music hall was used to heal people through sound frequency. They would play music in these buildings that would have very high frequencies, which would then instantaneously heal a person. But not only that, if you look at the geometrical shape of the building, that itself held a high frequency, which would then amplify how much frequency was produced by the music in the building. And again, you can see more antennas on this building made from copper and red mercury. At the same time, they were harnessing the ether, which would also heal people through frequency in the building. And what you'd find is the music was from pipe organs, which were made from lead, which is interesting. And they'd even have bells in there as well, which would also heal people. And what's interesting, if we look at old world instruments, they would use trumpets made from copper and brass, because when they would then play those instruments made from copper and brass and lead, the sound frequency of that instrument would amplify, because we know these materials like copper hold their own frequency. And so people would then go into that building and heal themselves through cymatics. But as the narrative goes, this building was then destroyed and all of the other music halls after World War I, because the elites didn't like that they were healing people through cymatics. So the music halls of 1893 were very interesting.
Jesus tells you multiple times that you are God inside the Bible. Matthew 21:12, Jesus went into the temple of God. But where is this temple? Well, Corinthians tells you in 3:16, do you not know that you are the temple of God? Which means Jesus did not go into a man-made structure. He went within himself. This is why the side of your head region is called a temple, because it's the temple of consciousness. Consciousness is universal. We are the same consciousness fractaled outward into individual consciousness and personalities. Jesus tells you, Luke 11:52, you have taken away the key of knowledge. You did not enter in yourself. He's telling you to go within yourself and figure out that you are God. Not your name, not your job, not your ego, but the very spark of consciousness, the spirit at the very center of thought, where thought springs from. That is the infinite life force that is all constantly flowing through you. Jesus tells you, when thou pray, enter in thine inner chamber and shut thy door. This is talking about meditation. The inner chamber is the internal self, the self inside the mind. And shut the door means shut off the external world and go within. Jesus was teaching spirituality. The church is teaching slavery.
It's a new landmass that's just been discovered. What's it called again?
Zealandia. Zealandia is the 8th continent, and it was connected to Lemuria. And Lemuria was connected to the land of Mu, which is also connected to Atlantis. Atlantis was an actual geographical landmass, and it was a 5th dimensional civilization that was ran by indigenous people. So you got new landmasses starting to come right back up, just like you have new animals are starting to come back up. That Liberian lynx that showed up in Spain, and that's connected to the Moorish paradigm, because the Moors are the ones who ruled Spain from 711 AD to 1492.
So all the mythical creatures going to come out the woodworks?
Yeah, because it represents the timeline of what's taking place. If you want to know what's going to be taking place in the future, just pay attention to nature. Nature in itself is connected to the historical timeline of the ancient DNA that's connected to planet Earth.
Oh, you son of a bitch. What have you done? Now can somebody tell me what in tarnations is going on? It's like these men had the cheat code. They had the cheat code. They was building buildings for fun. They had bricks for days. Like, you have to understand. Let's just say there was no electricity, that they was using hammers and chisels and horse and wagon. Listen, you gotta take your hat off to these people, because how did they build these structures? And they got wicked with it. They didn't just build no little tin pan, little shed. These men built structures that could not only last the test of time, they also look beautiful. Now just take a look at this. Absolutely magnificent. We don't build structures like this. It's like these guys had the capability and the manpower to do anything they liked. They wasn't just building structures, they was making art. I can't believe that we once believed the mainstream narrative. I can't believe that we once believed a lie. But those days are over, because what happens in the dark must come to the light.